I am fully prepared to get roasted for this, but I am one of those people who reads 4 books at a time. It's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I even like mean to do. It just happens. Like I start a book and then I'm like, okay, this is really good. And like I set it down and then I look at my shelf and I'm like,
I wanna read that book.
and so I start that book too. And then next thing you know, I'm 50 pages into 4 books at one time. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
You're okay.
Say okay one more time. Currently, I'm reading 5 books right now. One of them I feel like doesn't really count though because it's like a review book, but whatever, you'll see it when I get there. Let's just jump right into this. Can't wait to show you guys what I'm reading. Let me know what you're reading in the comments down below. I love getting book suggestions. I love books. I love big books. I love big boobs.
Big boobs?
What? Let's just start this. You just shut up now, okay? The book that started this whole pile is actually The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I bought this book in August, then school started and then I couldn't read it, and then I started reading it in December. I don't know why I stopped reading it. I think I like misplaced it for a while, which I don't know how because this book is so large. I really want to watch the movie The Goldfinch because I am a huge Ansel Elgort stan. I finished the book not long after this video, watched the movie, and it sucked. When I started reading it again during quarantine, I was like, am I gonna be able to just like jump back into it and like remember everything? But it's actually not as scary of a book as it looks. It's very thick, but it's just a long story, you know? It's not anything like those thick ass books where a sentence is like 45 words describing how an orange looks in a tree or something. It's just a good story. So I'm really enjoying this book right now. The next book that I'm currently reading is Dreamland by Sam Quinones. This book is an amazing nonfiction book about America's opioid epidemic and like really where it all started. I'm halfway through it and it is so well written and so intriguing. Like sometimes nonfiction books can be fucking boring. This book tells a story. It's not just saying like, and then in 2013 there were the blah, blah, blah. No, it's like there's a guy named Enrique and he is working in sugar fields and working with his father and is abused by his father, and then he decides he wants to go to America and become a worker, but then he becomes a drug dealer, and then it's just following him, and then it's like, okay, while there's this guy, then there's also this guy. They don't know each other, but everything with them kind of intertwines and it all loops back and explains how the opioid epidemic started in the US, and it's so intriguing. It's so unfortunate because a lot of this book is like set in the Midwest and especially in Ohio, more specifically Portsmouth, Ohio, which is about 2.5 hours east of me. It's sad. It's sad reading about it, but it's really interesting and enlightening. Highly recommend this book to everyone. The third book I have
I know I'm a monster, okay?
The third book I am reading is The Consumer's Guide to Effective Environmental Choices, Practical Advice from the Union of Concerned Scientists. I started reading this book on Earth Day. I was actually reading another book I had about like the environment and with the same kind of concept. I didn't realize that that book was by like the president of PETA, and like PETA's kind of problematic, so it's like I'd rather not read this one. And it was just really badly written. I ditched that one and then I picked up this one and I'm really loving it. There are a lot of numbers. This is definitely more of like a here's the facts, here's the statistics, learn from it. It's also interesting because this book was written in the early 2000s. It's like shit, things sound really grim during this time period. What now? I'm like 50 pages into it and I'm just now getting to the part where they really kind of say like, here's what you as a consumer should really start to think about. And I really like it too because it doesn't like shame the consumer as much as it shames the large corporations that are responsible for most of the environmental implications and impacts that are happening. But that's none of my business. The next book I have is a textbook actually, because I'm a scholar. I just like to read textbooks for fun. I found this book at Half Price Bookstore and it's Holistic Nursing 3rd edition. This combines the two things I want to do in my life. It's so good. She's thick. She's informative. She has hella sources, hella references. It's so good. It's such a good book. I am actually in love with it. This was published in 2000. There's a 7th edition that was released, I want to say last year. I definitely want to get my hands on that after I finish this book. But the thing with textbooks is like sometimes these editions, it's like they change a sentence or like they flip, like chapter 5 is where chapter 15 is. And it's like, okay, I don't need to spend $80 to get the 7th edition because you said that it was this, you know what I mean? You know, I'm gonna wait and see if I can find like the 7th edition or even the 6th edition in like half price books or on thrift books for a reasonable price, because the 7th edition right now is on thrift books for $80 and I was like, no. Maybe people are getting rid of their holistic nursing textbooks during this quarantine and I'll slide into half price bookstore on May 12th when it's finally open and snatch it up. I am absolutely in love with this book. I'm actually thinking about doing like a series or maybe even like a second channel, like talking all about the lessons in this book about holistic nursing and just about holistic healthcare and about wellness in general. Holistic nursing and holistic medicine and alternative and integrative medicine just get kind of this bad rap because of anti-vaxxers that ruin everything. Thanks, Karen. Last but not least, this book is fucking boring, but it's just the NCLEX PN examination like review book. I started nursing school like 2 months ago. I hate to even say like nursing school because so far all I've really done is 2 online classes and one of them's like health law and the other one's evidence-based practice. So I'm not like a nurse at all. I know literally nothing, but I figured since we're in quarantine and I have like all the time in the world, I might as well just start studying for the NCLEX because I'm a horrible test taker and I need all the studying and help I can get. That is it for today, guys. I highly recommend all of these books. Some of them might change your life, some of them might not, I don't know, but these are all really great books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and I will see you next time. Bye.